Hi, my name is Paige Hale, and I'm the designer of this course, this Intro to Psychology course. And I wanted to give a nice introduction for Module 2, titled What is Psychology? So, in order to frame it, I thought I'd give a little background about myself. The reason I'm able to design this class is I myself am a psychologist. My particular specialization is what is known as school psychology, which is also considered Division 16 of the American Psychological Association. But as you go through this course, you'll learn more about the different specializations in psychology, how vast a field it is, and give you a good foundation if you were to want to continue studying psychology going forward, or just have a working knowledge of psychology, just so you're well rounded, kind of that whole liberal arts idea. Um, a little bit about what I do. I'm currently in my 8th year as a school psychologist. So, school psychologists are employed in K 12 settings, so typically public schools. And we do a number of things, but particularly assess learning of students who we have concerns about. So one of my main roles is to do evaluations for special education, and that might include diagnosing autism, various developmental delays, working closely with somewhat related personnel, occupational therapists, speech pathologists, that sort of thing. But my job as a school psychologist is very different than, say, what an experimental psychologist might do. Somebody who runs a lot of studies, might work with lab rats and that sort of thing. And then obviously you have psychiatrists who are psychologists who are also medical doctors, so then they can prescribe medication, something I cannot do and I wouldn't want to do. Um, you could go on and on. Counseling psychologists. Now I do a little bit of counseling in my profession, but it's not the main thing I do. We also have industrial occupational or no industrial organizational psychologists who are often employed by large companies to kind of work on the environment of that company and to work on the dynamics of the employees and bosses and that sort of thing. So that just gives you an idea of careers in psychology. Um, and that in my background, I have a master's degree in educational psychology and also my educational specialist degree in educational and counseling psychology. And one of the reasons I love working on these online classes is I'm working on my doctorate in educational technology. So it's a different field, but there are a lot of overlaps. So, what do you need to get out of this module, Module 2? Again, it's titled What is Psychology? So, the number one thing that I want you to take away from this, and I want you to take away from the entire course, is to be able to articulate what is psychology. I always joke, even if you have no desire to ever be a psychologist or to study psychology any bit further, this might just be kind of like a requirement for you in your program. But say you are pulled into Jeopardy or onto Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and they ask you what is psychology, and you just are like that deer in headlights. You don't want to be that person. So grow a little bit and follow me with that. So, what is psychology? Simply put, and you'll read this in some of the texts that are, the readings that you'll have in this course. Psychology is the scientific study of mind and behavior. That's how the text defines it, the scientific study of mind and behavior. Now, the American Psychological Association, for whatever reason, leaves out the word scientific, so they call it the study of mind and behavior. So you have this dichotomy. You have the mind. So when you think of the mind, a lot of times in psychology, we'll also refer to that as internal states. So things we can't see, things going on in your head, internal states. But it's also synonymous with the mind. And then behavior. So, behavior is the manifestation. well, this isn't the definition, but it can be seen as the manifestation of what's going on in the mind or those internal states. Some of the things you're going to read about and learn about throughout this course are motivation. You know what motivates our behavior and why we act the way we do. Cognition, how we think about what we do, and affect. The reason why I bring up affect is because it's spelled like affect, like to affect something, A-F-F-E-C-T. But affect, when you look at it as far as psychology goes, has a different meaning. Affect, think of affective with an A, deals with emotions, your how you emote, how you deal with things, your personal feelings toward a situation, and it's how you come across. So someone who is depressed might have a very flat affect. So someone with clinical depression might just seem very low energy, low, just not seem very personable. So that's an example of affect. Or someone who's really hyper and really manic, that would be maybe like a happy affect or just a really high energy affect. So these are some words as you go through the reading you might see. One of the things that you'll read about, which is really interesting, is that the word psychology is derived from Greek, okay? From two Greek words, psyche, okay, which means life, makes sense, and then logos. So think ology, logos, meaning explanation. So any ology on a word comes from the Greek logos. So think of all the words that have ology on them. And again, that's from the Greek meaning explanation. So any science, almost any science, has a root term with ology. So think biology, psychology, obviously. Go on and on. You can think of all the ologies. Sociology, there's another example. So, let's see, what else did I want to talk to y'all about? Some of the things that this module, other things that it'll talk about are why are we talking about psychology as a science? So it's going to look at the scientific method. That the text will discuss that more, and we'll discuss that through our different assignments and questions you'll be answering. Empiricism, empirical research. What makes research? How can we decide, the cause and effect or correlation? Also, some of the things you're going to talk about, you're going to watch several videos that really break down what is psychology as the science, the components of psychology, the branches of psychology. I'm going to have you look at some of the different divisions of psychology. So get on the APA website and look at all the different ones. Like I said, school psychology is Division 16, but as far as I know, there are 50 or 60 divisions. I'm a member of one called the Division of Media Psychology, which is Division 46, so it was created much later. That's why it's Division 46. Psychology of Women, on and on and on. There are so many. And there's general psychology as well. And what else? It'll talk about career options in psychology. So if this course kind of piques your interest, you've got that as well. So if you all have any questions, reach out to your course facilitator. It may be myself in some cases, but oftentimes it'll be someone else who has the background in psychology. So good luck with your study. I hope you're as excited about it as I am. Thank you. See you soon. Bye.